please let me know. I've already got one person off the chat emailed me yesterday. Thank you for that as well. But let's get over to Al. It's the LA2 review. I'm so excited about this. Top of the morning to you, Al. You big smiley man. I love it.
How are you, Troy? You well?
I'm doing so well.
Am I coming across okay?
Yeah, all loud and clear. All good.
All right, I've got this new setup.
Yeah, I love it.
New setup, and it's all a bit weird. And I know what to lie. Just before we went on, everything crashed. So
it does for me often.
Everything crashed. Call it techno. I love how Lockie this week pulled all your audio cables out as well. Get a payback. Mate, we have got a huge week, and mate, there's so many things to talk about, and I want to make sure we roll on really quick. And like I said, I've got some new technology happening, so we'll get started because I know we've got a guest coming on at 12 in 26 minutes. No pressure, hey, no pressure at all. So let's get started with this. Look at this technology, the weekly wrap. You like that?
What happened?
You like that? 4 days worth of work. Did you see that?
Nah.
Oh, it hasn't come up.
Nah.
Oh, no. Oh, no. After all of that work, actually, let me try this. Now I've got 24 minutes. Oh, man. Now I've got 24 minutes to try and get this thing happening.
I love it.
All right, let me try this again. Technology, gotta love it.
I love it.
All right, we're going back here to share.
I love it how committed you are to this tech. Like, it's probably got like 1%
I
of the
love
show,
it
but you're
so
like,
much.
Pause, hold.
I love it. Yeah, I love it so much that we talk about things that we forget. Can you see that?
Yeah, you got to go. Can you go full screen?
Now, can you see that? You're back at me?
Yeah, back at you.
Now, can you see that?
Oh, shimmy!
The weekly wrap. That, my friends, ladies and gentlemen, I got off the show last Friday at 9 o'clock in the morning, and I just finished that 4 minutes ago.
I love it.
Technology working to there, but let's roll with the weekly wrap because I know we've got this guest that's coming on, and I want to make sure that we give them all the time possible. The weekly wrap, all about the positive stuff this week. Now, this week we're talking about. Now, I can't get the pronunciation of this right. Is the Gagari Football and Netball Club? Please, somebody out there correct me. I know David Fevliaki is on. He's from regional Victoria. There's a football and netball club that contracted had to go into lockdown because they played against Shepparton. 150 players had to go into isolation. Now, they have a population of 550 people. 150 of those people had to go into isolation. What the club did was they knew that they were part of that pivotal point for the community, that real hub for their community. So what they did was they became the central hub for mental health. They organised guest speakers to speak on their Zooms. They did all these positive things as a club. If we look at our responsibilities that we have as people and people in our community, what are we doing to help in this space as well? So hats off, if I had a hat, hats off to the Gagare Football Club and Netball Club out there, and job well done to them. Today also is the 100th, this week is the 100th anniversary of flights between Port Melbourne and Alice Springs. So the first flight was from Port Melbourne to Alice Springs. It took them 10 days.
What?
10 days.
What happened?
Can you imagine? You've been on a
fly
flight
with
for 10
no
days.
wings.
Totally. You have to put your arm out the window. Give it this one. Now think about it. International travel is coming back up. And I started to think about this. People might be going back to Bali. Now, I know you, Troy, you're a big fan of Bali.
Yeah.
If you were to fly with the methodology they did 100 years ago, it'd take us 29 days to get to Bali.
Wow.
So your 5 day holiday that you've booked, you got 29 days to get there. You spend 5 days there. You spend 29 days getting back, 14 days quarantine. You've got to take 2.5 months of annual leave just to take your 5 day holiday, because it's cost you $800 to get there, to stay there. It's cost you $7,000 to go there and come back.
And 4 years of annual gone.
Totally, all gone. Now this week's 4 weeks of annual sick leave, everything that you've got paid up, overtime, all the rest. Now this week's theme put up on social media. What was it? You like that? You like that? I practice this stuff. religiously. I laugh to myself in the kitchen, and my wife and my kids are just like this.
Dad, you got to find something better
They're
to
just
do in
doing
your
this
life.
stupid.
Oh, mate,
mate, I'm my own. Totally, I'm my own my own emoji of dad jokes. You know, if you look at dad jokes, you have a picture of me in the kitchen doing this, like, laughing at my own jokes. Things that we've forgotten. I did put it up on my social media on Facebook, and feel free to follow me if you choose to do so.
Yeah.
And the response has been phenomenal. Now, I myself personally am not going to mention any of the things that I've forgotten because I may be legally liable. So I'm just going to leave some of those things out. But there was a common theme. There was a common theme on the social media: parents leaving their kids. Wow. Parents leaving their kids behind. It was huge. The reason that the thing that triggered this, and speaking of parents and people leaving their kids, about 17 years ago, maybe about 20 years ago, actually, we had a family reunion up in Rosebud. So we all poured into this caravan park, and we're sitting there playing along on the Friday night. Saturday morning, we wake up and we find my niece, 3 years old, asleep in the sandpit from the night before. From the night before. Everybody's looking around going, I thought she was going to your cabin. I thought she was going to your cabin. I thought she was going to your cabin. Now we think...
That's so bad.
Totally. We think, and we're all trying to hide under covers. Oh, no, everything's fine. She's been there since 2 minutes ago. We think to ourselves, she's going to be really upset. First thing she says is, what's for breakfast?
Yeah, I love it.
Let's share some of the stuff that people have commented on. Meleame, who comes from a huge family, and she has a huge family, left her 2.5-year-old on the toilet while she took the rest of her kids to the school fete. Oh. Came back home, he's still on the toilet. Just go, Mum, 3 hours later, Mum. This is an interesting one. Jackie Wright was doing all the traveling around Europe. She was in a pub in Scotland. She was booking on the internet her flights from Heathrow out to Italy. Long story short, 2 weeks later, she gets to the airport, can't find her passport. Yeah, they do a bit of research. What happened was the publican found the passport, did a search on the internet for what she was looking for, realised she was booking flights out of Heathrow to Italy, sent the passport to security. She got her passport at Heathrow Airport from the security team. Like, phenomenal. Wow. Kerry Hill left her baby at the pizza shop.
It's so... I'm a bit sensitive about, like, we can't brag out mums because we don't know what it's like, but far out, mums are like ran to the tether.
Totally. And this is, the feedback. The feedbacks I'm getting from mums is, it's baby brain, it's mum brain. You're fatigued, you're tired, and these are mums raising this. This is not me laughing. These are mums. There's a few of them that I'm like, oh, am I supposed to laugh at this? Or do I give you a hug emoji? I'm not too sure. But imagine that you go there, I grab my large pizza, take out garlic bread. Do you want toothpicks? Like, no, I'm fine. You sure? There's anything else you want? No. Take off. You're like, do you want to take your baby? You want to take your baby with you?
Pizza sounds
Brock and Kate, exactly. Brock and Kate Parker. They had a 5-year-old named Blake, and this is years ago. Now keep in mind, all of these stories are from so long ago. Parents are clearing themselves from like all the authorities. They're making sure it's beyond a decade. It's beyond that 7-year period. Brock and Kate took off to work, and they thought that the other person was actually going to take their 5-year-old Blake to school. Anyway, Brock took home from work from the gym, finds his 5-year-old sitting in front of Foxtel, bucket of ice cream. How's it going, Dad? Just give me that one. I think Blake's about 19 years old. See the distance that they do take to sell these stories? This one's funny. Elle Smith had a friend that went into a clinic to get acupuncture, my therapist. Got on the table. What happened was the therapist, the person who was providing the service was like, yep, thank you very much. Didn't realize that this person was booked in, jumped on the table, put the needles on her. The person who switched over to them was like, okay, I'll see you later. No problems. Have a great weekend. Left, took his wife out for dinner, not realizing the person's still in the clinic.
No way.
Tony.
She's added another one to the chat too, which I'll get to when you go.
Oh, Tony, same thing. So she's gone in, she goes, I'll take a bit of time after my therapy, relax. She's relaxing in the room. All of a sudden the therapist comes in, opens the door and is like, oh, you're still here. Like, Tony, I saw you last Thursday. It's Monday. It's time to go home. This one here's funny as well. Robin Herman, she it's Kylie Vosser, the Vosser family, a beautiful family. Kylie Vosser basically dobbed her mum in and said, Mum left one of my sisters at the servo. You know, they did this crossover thing for holidays, left her at the servo, Mum left her there, took off, you know, car behind was flashing and going, hey, go back and pick up your kid. Robin jumps on and goes, oh, no, that wasn't the funniest part. The funniest part was I left another daughter in a bassinet.
Oh, no
she
way.
won a competition. She won a competition of prize at a shopping centre. She won a car. How good's that?
No way.
Turns up with a kid. Winner is Robin. Come grab your car. Leaves the baby in the bassinet.
Oh, no way.
Goes off and takes
What
off.
happens?
Woo! Radio on window doing. Oh, check for the baby. Back at the shopping centre.
I hope this is helping other mums feel normal, because I'm sure a lot of mums are going far out. This is so helpful to hear that there's a lot more women out there than probably what I thought.
Definitely. And I just, you know, this is not judgment. This is just true stories coming from people. And like I said, they can laugh about it after the 15 years of therapy. And after they've realised their kids are probably not too bad in their teenage years now, so they're kind of okay. Now we can laugh about it. Now, the ultimate one here is one that was sent to me in a private message. So I won't give it anonymous. But let's give this anonymous person a name called Noriko. Now this is a funny story.
You're so cruel.
Noriko is a friend of Kylie, and they have another friend called Michelle, and they have another friend called Mel. So there's 4 of them, and they're at Michelle's house prior to Michelle's wedding. Mel is at a concert, Britney Spears concert. So Michelle and Kylie say to Noriko, hey, we're going to go pick up Mel from the concert. Do you want to come? She goes, I'll come. Runs to the car, jumps in. Goes, hold on a sec, I've forgotten something. Goes back in. They watch her come back. She comes back. She jumps in the back seat of the car. She has a handbag. And everyone's like, oh, yeah, cool, you forgot your handbag. As they're going to the concert, Noriko goes, oh, can we pull into the survey? Because I need to grab a chocolate. No problems at all. Jumps out, grabs her handbag, goes into the service station. As she's walking out, Kylie looks at her. Now, Noriko tells the story as if she's looked at Kylie's face in the face of absolute shock. And Kylie realizes she's got a handbag, but Noriko doesn't have any pants on.
What? Don't. Are you serious?
True story. Noriko's on here. Confirm the true story. No pants.
This is stuff of dreams. This is when you have dreams. Not I dream of someone. It happens to yourself. You go to school when you're in year 4 again and you got no pants on.
Just imagine being in the servo worker. He's going, how are you? It's a Kit Kat, please. Would you like a banana for $1? No. Well, here's our special for the week. Is there anything else you want? No. Are you sure? No. Do you want to put your pants on? Please.
Eureka's in the chat. Yep, singlet undies in my handbag.
Oh, totally. So imagine the next time she goes back to that servo, it's like, remove helmet, put on mask, wear pants. Just thing like texter. Wear pants.
This is crazy.
Too funny. Hey, this week's all about mental health.
Yeah.
And this actually month is about mental health. So I'm going to share my story with my journey through mental health. I'm just checking the time because I want to make sure we get done this quickly. Where do I start? So let's go through my injuries. My injuries that I have, I've got a busted finger that was dislocated and has been put back in place. I've got stiffness in my lower back. I've got anxiety and depression. I've got problems with my C5 in my neck. I've got an issue with my elbow, and my left knee is bone to bone. That's how common the conversation should be. But it's not. And we've got to get better at that. Now, a few things for me started about 17 years ago. Sitting down, having dinner, my phone rings, I pick it up, I throw it against the wall. Phone breaks. For me, it was the stress of work. The stress of the work that I was doing at the time made me crack. Long story short, I thought to myself, hey, that's not right. I need to get out. I need to do something completely different. So I left the country. I went to Spain and I played rugby overseas. And I played rugby in Spain, and it was a beautiful time of my life. What the Spanish taught me were so many good things about living, not about working, but about living. So I came back from that journey, that experience of playing overseas, back to Melbourne thinking, you know what, I've fixed this problem of stress that I have. A few years later, I'm thinking to myself as I'm driving to work, going, I wonder what it would be like if I crashed my car. Now, I wasn't thinking I would want to crash my car. I wonder what it would be like if I crashed my car into a tree and I ended up in hospital it would stop people wanting things from me. It would stop people having to call me, wanting to come visit me. And my thoughts started to go through this. And it happened along a period of time. So I thought was, hey, that's a little bit weird. So I spoke to a mate about it. And this guy's a close friend of mine. And I spoke to him about my thoughts. He opened up to me and he said, Al, one day I tried to commit suicide. And I was like, whoa, blown out of the water. I did not expect it at all. He said, I stood on a bridge in Sydney. I took my shoes off, I stood on the bridge, and just before I jumped, I realized it was too cold. And I'm like, what? Because I realized it was too cold. I realized I could feel. So he stepped back, and now he's 60 odd plus. This is when he was 17 years old, you know? So I started to think about that and going, hey, hold on a sec. There's something going on here. And back then, you know, it was stress. Now, at the same time, Beyond Blue had just started, and Jeff Kennett was around, and he was promoting Beyond Blue and all the rest of it. Right. And being a Hawks fan, you know, I thought, oh, let's have a look at this Beyond Blue thing. What's it all about? So I jump on Beyond Blue, start looking at their quizzes, start doing their quizzes, and comes up all these red flags. It's going, hey, high level anxiety, high level of depression. I'm like, this is wrong. Start jumping on other sites, do all their tests as well. High level anxiety, high level depression. For me, I was like, oh, what do I do with this stuff? Like, what do I do with it? I never understood it, didn't understand what it was. I thought it was just stress from work, because that's what you do. You work hard. I had my own business. I had 2 businesses. Just about, you're not working hard enough if you're not stressed enough. Right. So I started working through that. And, you know, just my definition of anxiety is thinking about something and worrying about something that you're trying to change in the future that you have no control of. You know, I call it the YouTube. You go on here to try and find a bolt. How do you fix the kitchen thing? You end up all the way down here thinking about the rabbit jumping over a jump rope, singing Bob Marley songs. You start from here and you end up all the way down there, and your thoughts go to there, your beliefs go to there, and everything you have goes to that space. And I remember one time when I was in the backyard and I was trying to cut the lawn, trying to cut the grass. And I sat there with whatever I had in my hand. I can't remember what it was, but I sat there thinking, I've got to cut the grass. But if I've got to cut the grass now, what I've got to do is got to get the whippersnipper out. And if I got to get the whippersnipper out, has it got enough petrol in it? I've got to check the oil in the whippersnipper to ensure it doesn't blow up. 45 minutes later, I hadn't moved. My brain was just working in cycles. But if I don't do this, I've got to do it that way. If the neighbour's up, I've got to do my fence. And when I speak like this is how fast my brain's going. Okay, and it's constant. It's constant. I call it noise. And you hear me throughout the time talking about circuit breakers. How do we insert a circuit breaker? Just to stop the noise, just to reduce the noise. So from that, I thought to myself, I need to go and see a GP. You know, I went back onto Beyond Blue. They said, go see a GP, have a conversation. The first GP prescribed me with Valium, 3 repeats of 100 doses of Valium, and said, when you finish with that, come back to me again. Couldn't believe it. So I thought to myself, this is probably not the way that I want to be doing things. At the same time, I had an opportunity through my work for an EAP, okay, an employee assistance program, to speak to a psych, which I did. Now I sat with that psych and I thought to myself, I'm pretty trustworthy. I'm pretty reliable. I've also have the gift of the gab. I reckon I can bluff this psych. Yeah, sure. And prove to them I don't have anxiety. I'm across this. If I do, I'm across this. I know what to do. In my head, I believe I did this. I believe I did this with 3 or 4 other psychs as well. Yeah. So for me, what I had to do was I went back to Beyond Blue to try and look for a psych that I believe that I couldn't bluff. Yeah. And I found one. And I've been with that psych for 3 or 4 years now. Now, part of that was going to a GP and getting a mental health plan. So mental health plans, prior to the COVID space, there were 10 visits that you can get at a discounted price for a psychologist. Now with COVID, it's up to 20 visits. All you got to do is go to the GP, say we want to talk about a mental health plan. They'll get you on a mental health plan. You go out and see a psych, and they work through the progression of what that looks like. I've had 3. So I've had 30 visits, three blocks of mental health plans. Anxiety was covered for me because it was great for the work that I did. You know, I work in the security space. I work in emergency management space. I work in eventing space. You've got to be on all the time. So for me, anxiety was great because I could think 5 steps ahead and come up with a solution to resolve those issues way before we even got there. So it's all covered by that. It was all covered by that. I had a lot of noise in my head. Beyond Blue helped me find the right psych. So I'm just reading through my notes here. The psych kept asking me, how does this affect your home? And I'm like, mate, I'm not talking about my home. I'm talking about my brain is going really fast. And he kept saying to me, no, but how does it affect you at home? And I remember coming home after the third session and saying to Kylie, what the hell is your psych on about? You know, I'm talking about me. I want to fix me. And he's going, how does it feel at home? Mate, don't detract yourself from the topic that I'm trying to talk about. Because of my beautiful wife, and now that she's a clinical psychologist, probably helped a little bit. She helped me talk through that. And my home life wasn't great. I thought it was, you know, and I get emotional about this because I pride myself on being an honest, true man. Yeah. And what I found was that I was being somebody that I never, ever wanted to be. Yeah. I'm a big man. And the last thing I want to do is to be aggressive at home. But that's what I was. My wife pictured it as an aggressive bear. Now, why are bears aggressive? Why are they aggressive? They're trying to protect their young. They're either hungry or they're injured. That's the way that she described me. I'm like this aggressive bear that kept lashing out. Yeah. And that's not good. That's not great. In a 135 kilo set man, it's not a good thing, right? And you can't bottle that stuff. The reason why I get emotional about this is because my psych works with me to say, let the emotions flow, brother. Let it come out. It sits there for a reason. Let it come out, because when it bottles, that's when you get the explosions.
Yeah.
Now, for me, where it was covered for so many years was those explosions were allowed to come out on Thursday night at rugby, Tuesday night at rugby, and then game time. Watch out if you're in front of me, because I'm going to explode. And that was covered up until 6 years ago when I retired. So it was 6 years ago that the real work started. And I'm so thankful to rugby from my teenage years to now. You know, you talk about headspace yesterday, and they're talking about the numbers. The numbers of the highest resources that the age group, the resources used, are 12 to 17.
Yeah.
You know, that's massive. For me, I resonate with that, because that's the space that I was committed to playing rugby and then beyond. You know, I stopped playing at age 39. That's when the real work started, because I didn't have this outlet. I didn't have this circuit breaker. I didn't have anywhere to put this. So I was bringing all this energy home, and it wasn't great. You know, it's important to show emotions. You know, I'm going to play a little game here with all the viewers at home. Get ready to type in the chat. Okay. First thing that comes to mind, and I know you and I, we've talked about this, but I want to see if we can get the response from the people out there. First word that comes to mind, or first thing that comes to mind. Please name one male emotion. Go. I'm trying to look at my chat here. If there's anybody jumping on. Anybody said anything yet?
Not yet. It'll come through.
All right. While that's coming through, name one female emotion. One female emotion. So one male emotion, first one that comes to mind. One female emotion, first one that comes to mind. And what we've found, or what I've found in the past, there we go, perfect. Thank you, Noriko. Thank you. Thank you for helping me out with this one. Male aggression, female love.
Yeah.
Look at the statistics. Look at the numbers. You know, the reason why we as men, there's a higher rate of suicide is because we've got to be able to open ourselves up to the conversation. I do some work in the emergency management space, and over the last 2.5 years, I've been facilitating sessions. That's part of my role. Every session I ask, and we teach people how to remain calm in a high level of stress. How do they remain calm? So the thing that I ask, and I ask this in every session over the last 2.5 years, put your hand up if you practice remaining calm. If you practice doing that. I've had a response in every session, whether it be meditation, whether it be breathing, whether it be doing other techniques. Every session I've had a response. I had a response yesterday in a room of 63. I had 6 responses. In the 2.5 years, not one response has been from a male. It's all females that can connect with this stuff. We have to create a safer environment for us all.
I agree.
Yeah. We have to create this safer environment. It's about the environment that we're in. What you can say and what you can do for somebody else can save somebody's life. And I've been lucky enough and honored enough and not big noting, this is about me sharing this person's story, to have spoken to somebody, to approach somebody, to ask them a question, to see how they were, and to sit with them, only to find out several years later, it makes me emotional too. If I didn't do that, they wouldn't be here. From what I said to somebody, saved their life. I'm not getting emotional for me. I'm getting emotional for them. I'm so happy that they're around because somebody listened. And that's where we need to be as a community. That's where we need to be in this space as well. Laughing is socially acceptable. This isn't tears. It's just tears. It's just emotion. Let it flow, brother. Let it flow. And that's my motto and theory out there. Troy, question for you. I'm putting you on the spot here a little bit. Last Friday, you hit the $1,000 target, and it was obvious that you got emotional. Why?
Just the kindness and the impact that the collectively that we did together. But probably in line with what you're talking about, I didn't feel alone in that pursuit. But we did something very powerful together, and I hadn't forgotten how kind people are, but it was very, very strong, and there was just so much kindness going on. It was quite overwhelming.
It was, and it was obvious that what you have created is an opportunity for people to be able to feel positive in this space as well. You know, so what I could see from your emotion is going, something that I have done, which has started as an idea, is now you've now put into a show, has created space for everybody else to be in the same piece too. So I always applaud you on this piece. Now, do you know where we're at with the donations? I want to make sure that
not sure. I need to flick over to the other page. So
yeah, cool. We're last
close.
checked it, I think we have about $125, $150 or something along the lines of donate. Now, this is one part is about the donating. The most important part, you know, really good radio trying to do their bit to help them support Beyond Blue. The most important part is about having the conversation.
Yeah, having
the conversation. One of the tools that I use when we're having the conversation is how's life? Ask people, how's life? How's life? Not how's your mental health? G'day, Macca, how's you going? Kick the footy, how's your mental health going? Okay. Mental health and life are the same thing. It's the same thing. You know, they're not separate in that space. So I know we're running out of time. I do have...
We're at $8.85. We've got $115 to go, which is great. I think we're
$115 with an hour-ish to go. Come on, people, let's just get this in there. I know it's 8 o'clock now, but this is my one song, or one of the songs that, you know, I think of anthems. These are really big anthems for me. Oh, Happy Day, you played it before. Oh, rocket. You know, for a choir gospel song, mate, smash that one out of the park. I play that in the gym sometimes. I'm doing this one, I could just imagine people like, oh, he's listening to the latest dance track from the He Taught Me How. I just pumping that one out. Huge. Now, this song here is a little bit of a cover. It's a gift for me. It's a gift for other people too on the mental health space. It's a cover of a beautiful song that I call Lovely Day. And it's days that when I wake up, when I've done the hard work, and it does take work. All this stuff takes work. You know, you don't become a good basketball player without training. You've got to train this stuff, and it's got to be consistent. On your good days, when I have good days, this is the song that comes to mind straight away. So this is my cover for it. Hope you enjoy it. I hope it actually works. Here we go.
I can play it from here, Al, if you want me to. Oh, you've got. Get out the sub.
I've got get out the sub. It's Friday. Arnie G, you are an absolute legend.
I love
absolute legend. Okay, here we go.
Arnie Georgina Nicholson. Oh, gold.
When you wake up in the morning and you're feeling kind of flat and thinking to yourself, what can I do about that? You're living in your head, thought after thought, when all you want to do is think nothing at all. Well, it's easy to say that it's safe to talk, but if I fear it shows weakness, I'm not talking at all. Create a safe place, be a friend, not a judge, just listen to your mate and maybe give him a hug. People out there will help you on your way. Consistency is key to keep the dark clouds away. Remember to find that love within. Be kind to yourself, it's where your journey begins. Don't beat yourself up, forgiveness is key. It'll get you where you want to be. Now listen in close, I've got something to say. Invest in you and you'll find your lovely day.
Lovely day, 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 lovely day.
That's it for the wrap this week. Love it. Love everybody. Enjoy the world.
You are the
Happy
best.
Friday, everyone.
A big love to you, Big Al.
Get the money in, people.